Hey guys, welcome to the channel and welcome to another video. We did one a little recently where we announced a new member of the channel team, new member of the Moarhammer team. We told you all we're expanding. We had some really good feedback, some really positive feedback about that as well. People were really happy for us to expand. And we're expanding more. We said at that stage that there was a second person we were bringing on board. So we're going to meet him today. So I want everyone to say hello to Alex.
Hello everyone.
Hello everyone. Alex is the newest member of our team alongside Chris, so there's 5 of us in total now, including Mikey P and Brom. And I said this before, I'm just going to reiterate the fact it basically means we can stick out more content, more varied content. We've got more people to film regular battle reports with, more people to film sit and talks with. So we're doing another video like we did with Chris, but we're going to take a little moment to get to know Alex.
Yeah, so it's honestly, this whole thing is still so bizarre. Like, especially things like DCTV Open Day, like coming here and filming with you, like it's just it's bizarre. Like you can have to give me some pointers.
Alex is really excitable, by the way, whereas Chris is like pretty mundane and looks like he's had a stroke. Alex is always permanently excited, which is great. So we spoke about Chris. We asked him how he got involved in the hobby and what his army was, etc. So we'll start with that. How did you get involved in 40k?
I think, like Chris said, very similar story to a lot of us. You know, you're a 12, 13-year-old kid. You keep on walking past Games Workshop in a shopping center or something, and you sort of like, every time you look in, you're like, oh my God, what is that? That looks amazing. And it gets to the point where you're just like, okay, you know what? I've got to go in. I've got to find out what this is about. And so yeah, I'm originally from Watford, but my mum had a business in St Albans, and so went into the St Albans branch of Games Workshop, walked in, and I was just like, oh my God, what is this?
Yeah.
My dad then, got me the original 3rd edition box set, the one with all the Black Templars.
Oh wow, yeah, I know that one.
Yeah, and so it was like the Christmas version, and so it had a metal special edition Space Marine captain in it.
That's cool.
And the hand kept on falling off because I didn't know what pinning was. And so collected all kinds of assortment of Space Marines because you don't really know what chapters are when you're a kid. First they were blue, then they were green.
Right.
Then sort of went to boarding school, dropped out of the hobby a little bit, and then I came back to Watford from boarding school and got back into the hobby. And the way I got back into the hobby was, I think, kind of the same way a lot of people do. You meet a group of people.
Yeah. And
they're all part of the hobby. And you're like, oh my God, yes, let's do this. Let's get back into it. And it was funny. So, in like 6th form, you do these team building exercise days.
Yeah.
So we did one of those, and I was new to the school. And so I went on this thing, and we're on the coach on the way back. And my now good friend Dom, he turned to the group of us over the chair, and he made a Warhammer joke.
Right.
This is my
you went, I know what that is straight away.
Literally, I laughed along with them, and Dom looked at me. He was like, "You don't know what we're laughing at." And I was like, "Yes, I do." And he was like, "No, you don't." It's like, "Yes, I do." It's like, by alternate, she's one of us.
Yeah, that's mega. So you just that was it, and then you were straight back into it.
Yeah, straight back into it. Obviously, while you're at uni, you kind of drop out of the hobby again because girls happen and university and all this kind of stuff. And then I got back into it in sort of November last year because for a start, there was a lot of buzz around 8th edition.
Yeah, absolutely. And 8th edition has brought so many people back as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I think one of the things we don't really talk about is the fact that once you're in the hobby, you never really leave. Because even at uni, while I was not playing the tabletop at all, I was still reading the Horus Heresy.
Yeah,
still reading all the books, still keeping up with the lore, and I love Custodes.
I know you do.
Yeah, I think everyone's seen the battle report now.
Yeah,
and that Master of Mankind is my favourite Horus Heresy novel.
Oh, right, okay. I haven't read that one yet.
Oh, dude, you're missing out.
I'm just about finishing Emperor's Legion, which is also a really cool book.
Yeah, that is phenomenal.
But yeah, so I'm Master of Mankind. Winters has told me I've got to read that one, so that's on my to read list.
So good. But yeah, so basically, I've been keeping up with the lore, and I just thought idly one day, I'll go look on the GW website. I'll see what's going on. And I saw the Custodes were now an army you could play, and I was just like, that's it. I'm back in.
I don't think GW were aware of how many people will be sold by having Custodes as a playable faction.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's just one of the coolest things they've ever done.
Oh my god, yes. Like, it only just about makes sense in the lore, but I'm not complaining at all.
That's one of the amazing things about about 40k lore in general, though, because GW can just change their mind. They can just retcon something immediately and go, yeah, we're not doing it that way anymore. Actually, this is the new story.
Yeah.
And we kind of have to suck it up and play along, to be fair. Yeah. And that's incredible. They can do that with anything. So the Custodians coming back and the way they did it, yeah, you are right. The lore was interesting around the return of the Custodians and how they now are unleashed upon the universe.
I mean, arguably speaking, it only really makes sense from the point of view of the Shadow Keepers.
Yeah.
Because the whole point of the Shadow Keepers is that they go out and they collect all the like super dangerous chaos artifacts. But they go out and they do that, and they also guard all the stuff in the dungeon. And they're also black, and I collect them, and they're really cool.
Yeah, you do. I've seen them. So you've already touched on the fact that you have Custodians, and you were excited by that when you came back to the hobby. But why Custodians? Is it just because of that Master of Mankind book, or is there something else specifically about them?
So with Custodians, I love the fact that the lore around them is so unique.
Yeah.
So like their relationship with the Emperor is such that they don't see him as this like all-powerful, omnipotent being. Like they don't have that kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like he has a perception around him that he creates.
Yeah.
There's a bit in one of the books where Horus talks about him he can't remember how tall the Emperor is.
Yeah.
Because he projects a version of himself onto everyone, but the Custodians don't see that. They see him as he is. He's just like a normal guy to them, and he's just like really smart and powerful, but they have none of the mystique.
Right, okay.
Because the whole point is that the Emperor created the Custodians to be his friends and advisors.
Yeah.
So if he had a mystique around him that they saw and were in awe of, that would be detrimental to the reason of their creation.
Yeah, like a trust, etc. Because that's
Exactly.
that's not what they're there for. They're not there to be in awe of him all the time.
Yes.
Like everybody else is supposed to be.
Precisely. Just
Yeah.
like you, when you turn up to DZTV events.
There's some interesting stuff as well in the Emperor's Legion book. There's some interesting stuff with the Custodians because I don't know if you guys have read the book or listened to the audiobook. It's quite interesting. It follows like three people's paths, which is a Sister of Silence, a Custodian, and someone who advises the High Lords of Terror. And it is the way they do it, because they switch between the three characters consistently throughout the book. It is interesting. And it's interesting the way that the Custodian talks about himself and his kind as well. They're so different to Space Marines. They don't have any of this bravado, really. There's no real arrogance about them. They are always doubting themselves. And like it was their fault that the heresy got as far as it did in the Emperor. And I kind of love that humility about them as well. Like a Custodian could probably take on 4 or 5 Space Marines and win it, because they're
Only 4 or 5?
because they're an absolute tank. But I love the fact that they have this humility where they go, yeah, that was our fault. And because originally I didn't know this until I was reading this book. Originally, not this book, it was a different one, by the by. Originally, they changed all their colours to black, didn't they? Their robes and their tabards and stuff all got changed to black in shame for what happened. And I love that about someone who is essentially a superhuman, absolute killing machine, like mastercrafted perfection by the Emperor himself, and they blame themselves and they have doubt about their ability. That's insane.
Yeah. I think one of the interesting things as well is their relationship to the Imperium as a whole. Because if there's a bit in Watchers on the Throne where, sorry, spoilers, where they talk about how the Grey Knights are actually kind of more better placed in the Imperium than they are. Because the whole point about the Custodians is none of them have psychic powers.
Yeah.
Not any of them. Because the original intention for the Custodians was that they would help the Emperor rule the Empire after the Webway project was complete.
Right.
So humanity would no longer need any psychers.
Yeah.
So that's the age that they were supposed to exist in. Whereas there's a bit where one of the Custodians talks about how that was the Imperium as it should have been. The Imperium as it is now requires the Grey Knights, because they are a reflection of the like crap place the Imperium's in, and the reliance on psychers, and the fact the Emperor's vision is dead, like all this kind of stuff. So I think, yeah, that kind of relationship they have with the rest of the Imperium is super interesting.
There's only one thing in 8th edition. We're going well off topic right
Oh,
now.
yeah, totally. This is supposed to be about me.
This happens a lot. This is one of the reasons why we brought Alex on board, because this happens a lot. There's one of the really interesting things as well about the Custodians, which annoys me actually about 8th edition 40k and their introduction. And I didn't think I'd say this very often, because I love the fact that they're there. I love the fact that they're involved. And I love the fact that even to some degree, the Forge World stuff really fits, and you can slot it in and people don't complain too much nowadays. But anyway, by the by, what annoys me about them, and this again was from the same book that I've been reading, The Emperor's Legion, is they are. I don't know if this continues throughout other books, but they are described as being designed to work on the battlefield in conjunction with the Sisters of Silence. So those two go hand in hand and they work together. Yeah. And there's an epic scene in that book where there is a Sister of Silence and a custodian taking on a bloodthirster. It's insane. It's incredible. And I don't understand. God damn it, Games Workshop, why Sisters of Silence in 40k are elite choices with no HQ and no way to slot them into a custodian army easily. Yeah. For me, they should be probably part of the codex to some degree.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. I honestly think with the Psychic Awakening, this is so off topic now.
Yeah.
But I think this whole Psychic Awakening is going to be a re-release of every codex.
You reckon?
I think so.
That's interesting.
Because it makes sense with... Because like, we talk about... Like, I've listened to all of your podcasts.
Oh, you stop.
Oh, you know what I'm like. But I've listened to all the podcasts and there's a lot of talk about 7th. And the way 7th was, and it was crap.
So I played all through 6th and 7th.
Yeah.
And I played the whole of 7th, and I played tournaments in 7th, and I played my friends in 7th, and I kept playing. And I kept playing because I just love 40k and I love the lore. And I was very lucky that a lot of the players we had wasn't in this mad arms race that existed in 7th with all the formations and stuff. So I actually had a semi-positive experience. But 8th is so much better than 7th ever was. Yeah. 7th has some bits to it, some nuances in it that I kind of would like to port across. But I'm always aware when I listen to my podcasts back when I'm editing them, because I don't watch myself on YouTube, honest. When I'm editing my podcast back to myself, I listen to it and I go, actually, if they did everything that I've said, it would be insanely complex. And one of the reasons why we love 8th edition is because it's not insanely complex.
Yes.
So I'm very aware of that. But 7th was a mess, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you've got masses of rules, super layered, super dense, hard to get into, spread across a number of books.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of people, especially in sort of like the Moarhammer DCTV sort of orbit, talk about how, I don't want to go back to 7th with all of these books. You've got the FAQs, the chapter approved, rules, codexes, re-release of codexes, etc. Like, I think to clean it up, they'll use the Psychic Awakening as a 8.5, re-release everything with the new rules, and make everything more streamlined. Because Marine Codex, perfect example, re-release. The Marine Codex is always the first codex of a new edition.
So it's interesting you said that, actually, because they did the first one they kind of did a re-release on was the Chaos Codex, but that wasn't a new release. That was version 2. Yes. It has a version 2 on it. The Space Marine Codex came out, and I was expecting to see version 2. Nope, complete new codex.
Yeah,
interesting.
So, what if that means that the Chaos Space Marine Codex, or Heretic Astartes or whatever, is the bookend of that?
I think it probably is. I think that's why it had a version 2. Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. I think that makes sense because it will annoy the Chaos Marine players less because they've kind of had a most recent update. There's new units in there with the Lord Discordant and stuff like that. Yeah, I think you're probably right. Exactly.
But yeah, sorry, just going back to Custodes quickly. I was going to say, that re-release of the Custodes Codex, my hope would be that they would, and this is super out there, my hope would be that they re-release the Forge World kits in plastic.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Going for it.
Yeah, super going for it now.
Yeah.
Re-release at least some of the Forge World kits in plastic.
Yeah.
Preferably the Dreadnoughts.
Yeah.
Because the heavy support options for Custodes otherwise are a Land Raider.
Yeah.
Which is, great. And then on top of that, have the new re-release codex have an integrated Sisters of Silence section.
Yeah, no, I don't know if that is that far out there, because I do look at the Sisters of Silence now and think, well, in terms of codexes, now the indexes are pretty much dead. Yeah. Where do they fit in? And they don't fit in anywhere.
Precisely.
And in the lore, they fit in with the Custodes perfectly, so that makes sense.
Exactly.
Alex has already been on the channel on a battle report. It was on Moarhammer, wasn't it? It wasn't DC.
Yeah, it was Moarhammer.
Good. So he's already been on the channel on a battle report. You can check it out. It's the Custodes versus the Eternal Slaughter. It was great fun, and I loved it.
Really good one.
That was the first one you filmed, and I filmed with you. And at that point, I was like, I enjoy playing this guy. We've chatted nonsense all day. Perhaps you'd like to come and join us. So I asked you, and you said, yeah.
Yes, I did.
So why did you want to come and join the team? I asked this question to Chris, and we were like,
because it's awesome, obviously. But no, sort of for a long time now, I've had a lot of interest in videography, photography, YouTube. When I started my first job out of uni, I started a YouTube channel and it was all about like my early working experience, all that kind of stuff, because I was super interested in cinematography and making things. So as soon as you said like, oh yes, YouTube channel, I was just like, yes, I'm on board. Because like you've seen like I've got all the gear already from like personal projects that I've been doing.
Yeah.
So
Alex was a patron of ours beforehand, like Chris was, and you were sharing stuff that you've been up to, and you did a podcast. Actually, so the way this is being filmed, you're responsible for it. I should tell the people of YouTube this. It's your fault. Yeah. So Alex did a podcast on his own personal YouTube channel. It's not 40k related. It's normal stuff. It's called
the Quipster podcast.
Yeah, sweet. So go check that out on YouTube. He did his original podcast, and I watched the way it was done with a 2-camera setup, flicking between the 2 people, and went, I want some of that. I want some of that. And I went that step further and went, I want to be able to film it live like a Twitch stream and turn it into that format afterwards. Because I like to overcomplicate stuff. Yeah. Makes Winter's very angry. But I do. But he's the reason why it looks like this now. So yeah, and that's how I started to get to know the fact that you were into cinematography and filmmaking and whatever. I was like, actually, this guy's got some skills as well. He did a DZTV sort of promo type video thing.
Yes. Apology for the music on that as well.
No, that's fine. We can't share it because the music's copyrighted. So I can't put it on Moarhammer or on Winters' channel or on DCTV for that matter, but it's on yours, so you can check it out.
So, yeah, I mean, I should probably explain the way I separated that. I have a YouTube channel that's a podcast. It's all about, like, non-40k related stuff.
Yeah, like life.
Like life stuff.
Exactly.
I said it was going to be all about, like, careers and, like, people's life journeys. And then I created a separate 40k account for like experimental content.
Yeah.
So like stuff that I would experiment with to do with like 40k content that I would absolutely not want to screw up, like Moarhammer or DZTV. Yeah. Like especially with like copyrighted music or anything like that. That's where that would like go.
Yeah, it's cool though. And like if I'd have tried to explain, so the advert you did was really, like I thought it was really good. And
Thank you.
If I'd have explained to Winters, we're going to make an advert for DZ, and there's like panning shots with gimbals, and there's like slow mo and fast stuff, and it's going to be all cut to music, he'd have gone, no, I don't know what that is. No, don't stop it. Make it stop. Don't make it. And then so I didn't say a word. You created it. I threw it at him, and he went, oh! It was awesome. So it was really good. And when we saw that, we were like, yeah, we need to bring this guy in and get him on board, and that's why you're here. And so I'm really excited about doing loads of battle reports and this nonsense. We've already gone off topic already tonight, and I'm trying to bring it back on and keep it on topic because this is just a quick, let's everyone say hello to Alex video. I think we could do this forever.
Oh yeah, totally. Because like I'm like everyone sort of involved with DCTV and Moarhammer. I'm such a lore nerd.
Yeah.
Like, I think...
And that's what we're all about.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, I think someone mentioned to me the other day that Black Library have about 200 books out. Or it's something like that. Maybe 200 to 300. I've read at least 90. At least.
That's a lot. That's like 81 more than me, I think. But yeah, so, and that, you know, our channels, especially deploymentzone.tv, we're all about narrative stuff. That's what we love, is the lore and the narrative and making narrative choices. And making narrative choices on the tabletop as well. So that's why you will fit right in. Chris is the same with his Iron Warriors. Like, he could talk to you about Iron Warriors all day, and it's really boring. But he could talk to you about Iron Warriors all day. He's all about that, and that's what we love here. So yeah, it would be cool. One day, soon-ish, it would be nice to get like Battle of the Newbies on and get your Custodians versus Chris's Iron Warriors.
Or alternatively, we could do me versus Brom and watch Discord melt.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's not allowed. Especially in 4K, not allowed.
No.
So yeah, I'm glad you're on board and coming to film as well. I'm glad you're looking forward to it. What else? I was going to ask you something else as well now, and it's completely escaped me because we spent 10 minutes talking about custodians instead. Absolutely lost entirely.
Background, hobby, lore,
painting.
That's
it. Yeah, Alex is up the road, like Chris is about an hour-ish away, so he'll be able to come down quite frequently. We're hoping to include him on the live podcasts, what we do on Twitch, like we did with Chris recently. And obviously, like I say, loads of battle reports and other video content. He'll also be featuring, like Chris, on deploymentzone.tv. If you don't know what that is, where have you been? Check it out. Head on over to www.deploymentzone.tv. It's our website. There's loads of stuff on there, 40k content, battle reports, sit and talks. There is painting tutorials. There's a comedy series called The Big Debate. There's Winters' Winters' top tips. Winters and I own the website, and we put loads of stuff on there. So check that out. It's amazing. We love that place. DZTV also has a Patreon page. So head on over to Patreon, search for DZTV, or click the link in the video description below, and you can come and be part of the Deployment Zone community. Come and jump in Discord. It's loads of fun. It's full of people like this guy, like Chris, like Brom, like Mikey P, like Say Hi Paul. All of them are in there. You can come and chat to all of us. There's loads of different stuff. There's loads of categories to chat in. There's individual threads. There's bonuses. There's discounts. There's loads of stuff in the DZ Discord. Join us there, and you can chat to him directly and ask him about custodians, and then he doesn't have to talk to me for the next 20 minutes about them.
That's very true. Actually, it's interesting. Like, I didn't know this before I started coming and doing video stuff with you guys, but one of my friends back in London, 40k friend, I said to him, like, oh yeah, I'm going to go film something with the guys from DZTV. And he was like, oh my God, dude, before you go down, sub to DZTV for a month and then just binge the Death of Hope campaign.
So many people say that.
Yeah, literally. Like, I haven't actually seen it yet, but everyone says, like, it's amazing.
Neither have I. Winters will kill me.
Oh God.
Yeah, I haven't got the time. And then you're here today. So Alex has also started to film some content for a DZTV advert.
Yes, let's hope it's not crap.
Yeah, it's part of that's like an initiation. If it's crap, you're out.
Oh, cool.
But Winters and I were in today filming the Champion of Chaos campaign, and that was really cool. So we filmed 2 battle reports today. This is late at night now. We've been going all day.
Literally the entire day.
All day. We have filmed non-stop all day. That's a welcome to the channel, right?
Yeah, just a bit. But it's good. Trial by fire.
Yeah, okay. And then the last thing we had for Chris, that I remember anyway, was we said, tell us a random fact about yourself.
Random fact about myself.
No, I know you've got loads as well.
Oh, so many. You know what, actually? Because it is actually sort of important to the 40k story journey.
Right, okay.
The chronic illness stuff.
Yeah.
Got to mention it.
Which is what your podcast was all about, right?
Yes. So, my fact is that I have a condition called ulcerative colitis. It's where we're going into full explanation.
I know, yeah. You guys are about to get to know him deep.
Oh, yeah. I have ulcerative colitis. It's where your large intestine isn't recognized as part of your body, so your immune system attacks it. It's a little bit like Crohn's. I had a big attack of it when I was quite young, so 13 or 14. I had to have my large intestine removed. That's why I've got a very slim waist. That and narrow Asian hips.
Yeah.
Get it from my mum's side. But the reason I mention that is because that is one of the big reasons I got back into 40k.
Oh, really?
Yeah, completely. So what happened was, technically speaking, I've been on off quite ill for about 2 years now. Because chronic illness is one of those things that you don't get better.
No, it's there, right?
Yeah, it's there. You're just varying degrees of ill. And the last 2 years have been pretty bad. Very low energy levels, couldn't go out and do stuff. So I needed something that I could sit and be doing something for like 4 or 5 hours at a time.
Okay. And
then I suddenly remembered I used to play Warhammer. I used to paint. I used to really enjoy painting. Looked on the website and saw custodians and I was done. That was it. So I spent a lot of time painting as part of my recovery.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. So it genuinely helped you. I say helped you recover. I mean, obviously, it didn't physically help you recover. Yeah. But it gave you something to keep you busy, keep your mind working.
Absolutely.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And it's
a much better fact than Chris's. He said he was born in America.
Yeah. What can I say? I like to impress. But
I'm harsh on Chris. I love the guy.
Of course, it's great. But it's this is something I've mentioned in other videos before. And I think it's true once you delve into the community a little bit, especially through like DZTV or moarhammer, especially through Discord. I reckon I've made more friends in the last 8 months of playing 40k than I have in the last 3 years of living in London.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely. I don't think there's many people out there that are proper involved with this hobby that probably would disagree with you. Yeah. In all seriousness. Let's just look at the 5 people that work on the channel now. There's me and Brom. Now, I've known Brom since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. Since I was about 11 years old, I've known Brom. It's 20-odd years. However, you, Chris, Mikey P, all met through the channel. Yeah, all met through being patrons of Moarhammer and then joining us on Discord and then me getting to know you all, and now you're all involved in the channel. Winters, who's my business partner, was through was through Warhammer 40k on the channel. I mean, a lot of this is channel stuff, don't get me wrong, but it's still 40k. It's still why I know these people.
Exactly.
And if I look at a lot of the people that I'm surrounded with in my life now, even close friends of mine who I've known for years and years and years, the common denominator between us is 40k. And I think people don't necessarily realise perhaps how much importance 40k can play in how their life pans out in terms of things like friends and relationships like that and stuff. It's really key. And when you've got that kind of common interest, especially when it's to do with things like the lore or the narrative and stuff, and it's less focused, I think, on competitive play, you tend to find those people stick around you as well, I think. I don't know, because it's more fun, you enjoy it, in my opinion anyway. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. But,
no, I think I do agree with you to quite a large extent, because like a lot of the gamers that are in sort of my orbit, especially in London, it's a lot of narrative.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that we the whole game and the way it's balanced is geared towards the competitive scene, because competitive scene is designed to break the game.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it's all about.
It's a shame, but it's true.
It's true. And I kind of do thank them for that, because it means that it's balancing the game for kind of all of us.
In modern day GW, yes. Absolutely. In modern day GW, 100%, because they become aware of it and go, oh, we need to stop that. That needs to stop happening. So I would 100% agree in modern day. In old 40k, it was horrible. Competitive players would break the game. And then the next thing you saw, bike Death Stars everywhere, because 7th edition was a thing where GW didn't really police it. So yeah, you're right. I do thank him in that regard. But it's a very different mindset. And I think that means that people that play narratively together, like we do on the channel, just seem to have more fun, and then you'll come back for more.
Exactly. But I think as well, because a lot of the balancing, a lot of the media out there is all geared towards the competitive scene, we forget that 90% of the people that play 40k play narratively.
Yeah, it's a point Winters always makes. Absolutely. Yeah. 90% of people play narratively. The competitive is a tiny, tiny little slither of the scene.
Exactly.
It's interesting. Right. Is there anything else you want to say?
Custodians are awesome. I wish we had more options for everything.
You have loads of options. You just have to pay for resin. Anyway, yeah, it's really great to have you on board. I said the same to Chris. I'm really excited about some of the stuff we do in the future. I know you're also maybe possibly a little part of you thinking about jumping on the AOS train as well, because Chris is on about his learn to play AOS series and stuff. So yeah, we'll see.
I mean, if Battlefleet Gothic comes out, I'm all about that.
You've got what are they called? I keep calling them Sigmarines. You've got Stormcast Eternals, which are basically Custodies, but in Age of Sigmar. They're gold.
And I have actually used those heads for my shield captains.
Yeah, so
I'm
just saying.
Stop tempting me.
Yeah, that's what we do. I'm an enabler. So I'm really excited about what we can do with Alex and the videos you'll see him in the future. Look out for him. There'll be, obviously, like I say, there'll be live podcasts, there'll be sit and talks, there'll be other channel content, etc., like battle reports and stuff. So it's really good to have you on board. Thanks for coming and saying hello to YouTube and being prepared to put yourself out there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to be here.
So if you guys enjoy what we do on the channel, then like I said, you can check out deploymentzone.tv. It's our website. There's loads of stuff. It's really busy. We're trying to take over the world. Quite literally, Winston and I decided we were trying to take over the world and be the best and the biggest. And to help with that, you can also, you can also support us via Patreon. Check out DZTV on Patreon. Use the link below if you want, or search DZTV on Patreon. And you can join us on Patreon and come into our busy hobby Discord. And you'll be welcomed, and there's loads of stuff in there as well. There's 2 different levels you can join, etc. All of the channel members, including Alex, will have Moarhammer Instagram accounts. There's Moarhammer Chris, Moarhammer Mikey, Moarhammer Brom. I'm hoping you're going to have Moarhammer Alex soon. You have to be one of the team now, Alex. That's the point. And then there's the Moarhammer page. There's also a DZ, a Deployment Zone Instagram page, and Winter's on Instagram. It's shocking, but it's true. He's there. He's on Instagram. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone in the hobby gain 1,000 followers in a week.
Yeah, it was literally 1,000 he got in the first week.
Yeah, and he doesn't know what he's doing.
Not a clue.
Yeah, he has no idea he's even got 1,000 followers. So check us all out on Instagram as well, and we put lots of updates now on Instagram, and that's your fault.
Yep. Entirely.
Alex is an Instagram nerd.
So much.
So he's been teaching us how to put stories and stuff and all this stuff on Instagram, and it's always like, take photos for Instagram. I'm like, oh, yeah, sorry. So yeah, there's loads of stuff on there as well, so check that out. You can also follow us on our Facebook page. There's a Moarhammer Facebook page. There's a DZTV Facebook page. And I think that covers just about everything. Don't forget to check out our sponsors, Element Games. Again, there's a link in the video description below to the Element Games web store. That is an affiliate link, so they know you come from us, the team at DZ, Moarhammer, Winters, etc., which is really positive because it helps us look good for Element, and we want to do that because they're cool and we like the Element team. So check that out. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please drop comments below and welcome Alex and say hello to him and ask him about his custodians, and he'll talk to you for hours and hours and hours. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.